Hello, everybody. I'm David, and I'm here with Amanda. She's come to tell her story. And Amanda, I really thank you for being brave enough to come out here and tell your story. I know it can be traumatizing, even reliving moments and stuff. But my first question will be, I guess, what was your life? What has your life been like targeting? Like, when did you notice, hey, something's wrong here? There's something going on that just don't not adding up.
It was around 2018. Um, I was living in Ohio. That's where I'm from. Um, and I was living downtown Cincinnati. I had an apartment down there. And the first thing I noticed, I was being followed everywhere. And just really weird things started happening. Like I would be driving down the street and cars would just pull out right in front of me, trying to cause me to get in a wreck. And it was happening over and over and over, um, to where I knew something was up. And at that point, I um, uh, wasn't a lot of fear, so I went and bought a dash cam. Um, yeah, and something happened with that dash cam, or it was stolen, something like that. I ended up never being able to get any evidence. But so I was in Ohio. Um I've had three different cars that have been vandalized. Since that point, I was driving a Honda Accord at the time. Um and that car, um I didn't know at the time, but it was vandalized the same way with my other two cars. I just didn't completely realize what was going on at the time, but somebody had poked a hole in my gas tank. Um, and then the car started having problems. I would take it to the mechanic, but it was a really cheap car. So at the time, I was working and I was able to save up a little bit. So I had sold that car and used the money that I sold the car with a little bit of that I saved, and got what was that car called? Dodge. Um, I can't remember.
Charger, maybe
No, I can't remember.
a
My
little car,
my memory is so messed up.
a neon, maybe.
Dodge Neon. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it was. Yeah, it was a red Dodge Neon. Yep. And shortly after I had that car, I started having issues with it, and I took it to a mechanic, and he said that it was actually they were tampering with it, putting stuff in the gas tank. Um, so I was taking my car when I needed a mechanic. I would always go to like CarX or Midas, I think it's called. In a place like that, I never had like a personal mechanic, so I was always charged, you know, way overcharged for any type of service. And that car ended up, it didn't last long. It was like I would get it fixed, and then somebody would tamper with it again. So let me see what I wrote down some stuff just because I'm having some trouble with my memory. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
they mess with your memory,
I feel like
definitely.
I'm just being constantly hit right now, with
You
these.
just don't feel no pressure at all. Just go.
Okay. So so when I was living in that apartment, um, one of the things that started happening to me was I started finding little white hairs everywhere. It'd be all over my bed, and yeah, it was very strange. I would pick one up, and I I started researching what it was, and the only thing that I found that was even close to what I was seeing and experiencing was something called Morgellons. Um, I
When the
remember,
white hair's coming out of you, out of your skin.
yes,
Yeah.
and they would be all over the bed. Um, to be little tiny fiber looking balls, like just weird things. So that's one thing that I started noticing. I was being harassed everywhere I went. Uh, every time I would leave my apartment, there would always be people that would sit in the front of the entrance of the building, like, and it got to a point where I feared even having to leave my house because I was being harassed every time I left. Um, at this point in time, I was still talking to my mother, and I'd have conversations with her on the phone about what was going on, and she'd kind of just, oh, uh, you might need some help, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Uh, trying to play it off as something like I was going through something mental.
That's their favorite
And
thing to do.
yeah, so it was around this time. Let me see. Yeah, my phone. I started experiencing my phone being hacked, stuff like that. I had a Facebook account at the time with um, tons of pictures on it. Like every time I would always upload it to Facebook. So I had a lot of pictures. Yeah, just seems like they wanted to erase any type of memory or picture that I have of myself. It's another thing I've noticed. I have pictures of me recently, but yeah, they've erased all that from me. Um, oh, I started getting like this letter in the mail, this breach of information. It was a breach of medical information, um, and I didn't know what it was about, but I do remember getting weird letters in the mail. Also, letters from insurance companies. Um, mm, at the
Um,
time,
Go ahead.
at the time, I was having conversations with my sister on the phone, and she would she would tell me that she was experiencing like similar things as me, um, saying that she was hearing her dolls talking to her, and um, people were messing with her, certain things, and yeah. So I'll never know what the truth, the 100% truth. I'll never have closure on what actually happened to my sister, but I in 2020 I went to a drug treatment program um, to try to get off Suboxone, and I was doing good. I was uh, going to AA meetings, and I was very involved in AA at the time. I was chairing meetings. I was sharing my story, stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I just felt like I needed to try to get off the medication. So I went into treatment, and while I was in there, um, my mother called me and told me that my sister had passed away. And this was shortly after I had talked to her, and she was saying that these things were happening to her. Well, my mother told me that she thinks that somebody did this to my sister on purpose. Uh, and some of the things that she told me, um, yeah, I don't know if I can share all this, but she told me that she believes the police were involved in what happened to my sister in the town that she was living in, and that it was covered up. My mother told me that she heard from one of my sister's friends, or something like that, that the police out there were saying that nobody's going to come looking for her, that she was mental, stuff like that. Um, Now, when this happened, my dad went out to the town where this happened, and he he had said basically that it was an accident. So um, I don't know. I'll never know what happened.
But you know your sister, you know your sister was level-headed. She was not.
She wasn't. Yeah, she was level-headed. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've had a very hard time with this. Yeah,
And
and
my condolences about your
hard,
sister.
the hardest part is not knowing, what um really happened, and then you have all these people just telling you different things, and my mom told me that when she went to identify the body, that they would not let her like fully identify the body, which is another thing that stuck out in my mind. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that
that's one
sounds odd,
thing.
don't it?
Yeah. So yeah. Um, I kind of wanted to mention how I grew up,
Okay.
just because I believe um, it has a lot to do with what's going on now. Unfortunately, now that I've woken up to exactly what's going on with me, when I look back at my memories, there was um, a lot of things that weren't right, and a lot of things that I was going through that I'm going through now are just different. My I was born in Ohio. I was born in Ohio, and shortly after I was born, we all moved to Texas. They moved me to Texas. My father was involved in the drug trade. Is that and yeah, so he was yeah, this is really hard to share. Um, but I know that I have to. Um, uh, so we moved to Texas. While we were in Texas, I still have memories of being there. I remember being terrified all the time. I have memories of I remember looking up and seeing things floating in the air. And I was probably 3 or 4 years old at the time. Um, I have a lot of memories of just feeling very panicked and scared. And my mother was very abusive to me. Um, Once I got a little bit older, I was having a conversation with my grandmother, and she would tell me that we would come and visit on the holidays, and I would just still be a baby. Um, and I'd be covered in bruises and stuff. My own grandmother told me this, so but it doesn't surprise me because all the memories that I have. Um, I don't remember this, but my mother told me that one time um, she walked into my room. It was the middle of the night. She was looking for my father, and she looked everywhere for him. Then she opened my door, and he was sitting there pointing a gun at my head. Um, So, yeah, there was just a whole lot. There's stuff that happened that shouldn't have. But because the reason that we were in Texas is basically because he wanted to be closer to what he was doing. Um, he, yeah, I don't know. He
Do you
was,
think maybe you think you might have like been targeted because they wanted to try to make you look crazy instead of in case you did ever talk about some of the stuff that you went through?
yes, I know that for a fact.
That's
Yeah.
why you're targeted?
Uh, I believe, my targeting started actually just not overtly like it is now, when I was a child,
Right.
because of the memories that I have. I remember uh, break-ins, people break in our house, um, just the
Have you
different, really.
experienced them as an adult too, break-ins and stuff?
Yes, they were breaking in my house now, actually.
What
Yeah.
are they doing when they break in? They leaving
Um,
anything to let you know, hey, we've been here?
they've left me notes. They moved my stuff around. Um, they tamper with my clothes. They ruined a pair of shoes of mine, digging holes in the bottom of them. Um,
Wow.
what else? Um, I'm positive that they have poisoned my food. Um, I've
Yeah,
been,
Holly used to keep her refrigerator empty and she would
yeah,
buy food on the go. She would never keep food because she thought they were poisoning her food too.
Yeah,
Well, they were
they
probably.
they did poison my food. They put
yeah,
LSD in my wine. I drank my wine on a Friday evening and they had put LSD in it, and I went on some crazy trip. Never done that kind of stuff in my life, so it was not a good thing at all to be by yourself and doing
Mhm.
that.
wow.
Yeah, they were evil. They're very evil. But yeah, they would move things around in my home to let me know they'd been in there. And then of course they killed my cat with a baseball bat and beat her to death. And I thought, well, these people are going to try to kill me, so it's horrible.
Do
Yes.
you know what do the notes say when they left you a note? Could do you mind saying or
One of them said, I need to find my stalker, which
wow.
is something I would absolutely never write. Why would I ever write that? Just stupid things like that. Uh, to let me know that they've been in here. This was about a week ago. I posted this on X because I I've tried TikTok. They will not let me post on TikTok. Uh, I'll get 3 or 4 posts and then they'll start flagging me. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I got
Mass.
kicked off for mention. I got kicked off for saying direct energy weapon on TikTok.
That's probably one reason they're flagging me. I don't know. Recently, one of the posts that I post was I downloaded an app called Wiggle Wi-Fi, WIGLE, and it it shows me like all these different networks and stuff like that that's around. And um, somebody on X actually suggested the app to me, but what she explained, she said that's basically like a monetized weapon system or something like that. I'm still trying to figure it all out, but um, so I had screen recorded. I turned it on the satellite mode and I screen recorded like what devices and stuff like that are around me, and they banned that. Um, I was at um, I've been bell ringing for Salvation Army, and uh, I've been going through a lot of crap. Every time I go, I'm attacked the entire time. I'm mobbed. And all this stuff I've been posting on X because I can't post on TikTok. So I'll have like 4-hour shifts, and by the end of my shift, I can't hardly even walk home. I'm so sore, and like
From
I said,
attacks?
they'll make me vomit, all kinds of stuff. Yeah. And I'll be standing in the rain, ringing a bell, and people will come up to me and say horrible things to me, and
Mm.
I see the color. They do color coding cars that they do red, white, and blue with me all the time. I don't know why this is, but um, that's a thing for them. They do red, white, and blue. Um, I don't know. It's strange. Oh, the last time that I bell ring for them, the location that they had me go, um, was a post office, and I was standing outside of the post office, and they put 2 bullets in the windowsill, and
Wow.
I knew that you know, I knew it was a threat. So I took a picture of it and I put it on um, TikTok, and they banned that, or they flagged it, but it is on X. So, but so a lot of things I went through as a child, I'm kind of going through now, but just different things. Like I said, I remember always being very sick, um, throwing up when I was a kid. I remember, um, yeah, I remember,
But when we were, well, can you explain the feeling you get when you throw up, like your head, what happens and stuff, like you was telling us before
um,
the when your head was heating up and stuff, and you got sweaty, and then
oh yeah, I get heated up, like it feels like my body's on fire. Um, Sometimes I'll feel a pressure on my head, an actual pressure feeling. Um,
have you ever got ringing in your ears or a fluttering noise in your ear?
I get ringing in my ears. Yeah, I'll hear like it sounds like a frequency change. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You
We
can
get
hear it.
that.
It just changes. It sounds like somebody actually just passes by you almost. It's strange. Um, but yeah. So mm,
Have
oh,
you ever experienced B2K?
I didn't think I was experiencing that at first. Um, but I am. It's just it's intrusive thoughts all the time. Um, yeah, like really threatening thoughts. Like I'll just be sitting here and all of a sudden I'll feel like somebody's getting ready to bust in my door. Just things like that. Um, it's like I'm always being threatened. Um, and I've noticed now that I realize I actually do have E2K, it's just not actual voices that I'm hearing. Um, I think that they've done a lot of suggestive thoughts to me, kind of like trying to mind control me and to doing certain things. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. And they done it to
Yeah.
Holly. She hated smoke, and I want to tell them.
Yeah, I hated smoking. I despised it. I wouldn't even go around my mother when she smoked. And they kept telling me, buy cigarettes, buy cigarettes, buy. I went and bought a pack of cigarettes. It made me sicker than a dog. And I started smoking after hating it and despising it. But they told me, they would tell me over and over and over and over and over and over, buy cigarettes, smoke, smoke, smoke. And so
Wow.
I ended up smoking. So, yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. It's like they are constantly trying to put thoughts in my head um, for me to make certain decisions that I would not normally make. Um, and I didn't realize this back then, but I was actually being V2K, and I've been all over the country trying to get away from this. Um, and I would just get a bus ticket and go to Colorado, just, I didn't realize this at the time, but that it was actually them mind controlling me to go to different spots.
Yeah,
But
they want to exhaust your finances.
Yeah, I went through that in I was in 12 states in 2018 and mostly on greyhounds and stuff. So did you ever find yourself getting very, very perped on greyhounds, like street theater
oh,
situations? I
yeah,
hate.
I had to get off a Greyhound because there was a guy sitting in front of me. This was 5 or 6 months ago. I had only been here a couple months. I think I moved in here in March, I think. Um, only been here a couple months. Since day one, I've been going through, it is weird. It seemed like it kind of stopped, but it didn't. It goes back and forth like I said in 2018, I was noticing all the game stocking and everything, but I didn't realize at the time what was actually going on. Um, but oh my gosh, they just blinked out my memory.
Oh, it's okay. You want me to pause for a minute?
Sure.
Okay. Now. Okay, everybody, we're back. She needed a moment, rightfully so. It's traumatic when you're telling your story like this and you've been through this, and any realty I know y'all understand.
And I just wanted to apologize because I know that haven't done great in this interview. I was sitting in my living room and I noticed I was just constantly being attacked. So I moved. And when that happens, I can't think or focus. It's like they completely take out my memory. I don't know. But I did want to mention like my childhood and like the things that I actually went through back then. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because uh, I believe that my mother and father both are involved in my targeting. Um, I think that because of the nature of what my father was involved in, he might have um, been offered some type of deal to get himself out of trouble because he was going to prison for large amounts of marijuana. Um, uh, yeah, uh, this is really hard to share, but yeah, so I think that is a huge possibility. But I was just a kid at the time, so I I don't know. I've experienced very traumatic things ever since I was born, honestly. And it's my dad's side of the family. They I'm not sure if everyone was involved, but I know my uncle and my father was. And my uncle went to prison for 1,800 pounds of marijuana. He uh took a semi to Canada and came back, and there was two semis, and so that just gives you an example of um, what they were doing. So um, I never ever really wanted to talk about this, but I have no choice but to uh, stand up for myself and expose the truth about things. Um, but so I think that that's what happened. I think that he was offered some type of deal or whatever, and it's possibly what happened because ever since childhood, I've been going through these very traumatic events, almost like monarch programming, um, just kind of being programmed to deal with trauma and go through certain traumatic events, like coming home one day and our house being vandalized. My mother leaving me and my sister alone when we were kids. And while she was gone, people were knocking on the house, knocking on the doors and trying to scare me. And I was 9 years old trying to babysit my sister. And we had a house out in the middle of the woods on 38 acres. Stuff like that, just traumatic events over and over and over. So yeah, in my case, I unfortunately believe that this has been going on my entire life. I didn't realize this until this year. I just thought, my mother was a complete narcissist and it's something that I can heal from and forgive her, which, I do continue to forgive these people. Anyone that is involved in attacking me and harassing me and uh, absolutely anyone. I try to, continue to forgive them. But what I'm currently going through right now in my life at this moment is I
Can you explain, like, oh, we're looking at your ex right now. Could you explain, like, the situation where they turned off the power?
oh yeah,
That might help you remember some of the stuff. So I'm trying to,
thank you. Um, I believe that was just a scare tactic. Um,
yeah, I just
I
wanted to know, I just want them to see the situation on the level that they mess with you, what they
mhm,
did.
yeah, I was sitting here and I've been worried about being able to do this interview. That's one thing. I wanted to make sure um, that I was going to be able to, and different things started happening. Like the other day, my charger stopped working, and my phone started acting really weird. So, uh, I went and bought a charger, and I brought it home, and that charger didn't work. So I'm like, oh, they're trying to mess with my phone, so I'm not able to do this interview. Um, And then the very next day, I was sitting here and my power goes out, and I start recording right away. And I go out into the hallway, and the power is out in the entire building. I close my door back, and I come back and sit in here for a second, and I heard somebody put a letter in my door, and the letter said, I went and got the letter, and it said, you need to come downstairs and sign a piece of paper. I posted what the letter said, but it said you have to come downstairs and sign these forms or sign this piece of paper. And it didn't say what. It was very strange. So I'm sitting here in the dark, and this letter in my door is saying I need to come down and sign papers. Um, so they are just trying to get a reaction out of me. And the reason they're doing that is because I don't normally react to what they're doing. Like if I'm in a grocery store, or I just try to a lot of the time keep my head down, because they're wanting me to notice what they're doing. They're wanting me to notice the color coding of the cars and all that. So um, because I don't show them a reaction most of the time, I think it makes them mad. So they do stuff like that to where I have to react. So um, I did. I got up and I started packing up what little stuff that I have that I want to keep safe and not poisoned, um, in my closet. And I started trying to wire up my closet, so just in case I have to go downstairs, I couldn't come in here and poison my stuff. So I was doing that, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go downstairs. I'm going to call the office and see what's going on. And she said, oh, don't worry about it. You don't have to sign any papers. And then my electricity came back on. So that's just one thing. That's just, you know, um, um, I've had 3 different jobs since I've, or yeah, 3 different jobs since I've been out here. I was working, I got a job at Taco Bell and I lasted a day. I couldn't take it. I was threatened the entire time with indirect conversation with the employees. The guy, one of the guys that worked there took a knife and I was standing. They put me on the drive-through my very first day. Um, so the entire time I was being completely mobbed by my gang stalkers through the drive-through, color coding cars, and I was being hit with direct energy weapons the entire time. I started getting really foggy. I couldn't think. And and then one of the workers grabbed a knife and started stabbing this box right next to me, saying, um, sometimes I just need to stab a box. And he kept doing it and doing it. It was right next to me. And just other employees making comments, just really hateful comments. The guy that was training me for the drive-through kept walking away saying, I can't do this. I can't do this. Just treating me like a monster. So basically, I couldn't handle going back. And even the way there, I had to walk there. And this is another thing that's happening is the last couple jobs that I've had have told me that they have all shifts available at first, but then they'll hire me and only tell me they have night shift. Well, night shift, that means that I have to walk because the public transportation around here is a little town bus that you have to call. Well, they're involved. I'll call and they make me wait an hour and a half sometimes to get a ride. Make me late for my appointments. They've done this so many different times. I'll be on the bus and they'll start playing a song like one time, like the Bee Gees song, Staying Alive. They use music on me. Like it's crazy. Have you guys ever dealt with that? The radio?
Oh yeah, the music.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Their thing for me was Stairway to Heaven. They would blare it in front of my house and Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven. Yeah. Yeah. Total music thing too.
So crazy to realize now, like I can't listen to secular music at all now. Like I
Mine
turn
was, I don't know why they play it, but when I would get hit with microwave weapons, it'd be like, we got to move these microwave. Remember when I went through that?
Yeah. Yeah.
They were playing that when they were burning me.
Yep. Oh my gosh. Yep. They turned the radio on just the other day and I posted this on X. Um, I never listened to the radio, right? Well, let me explain what I'm going through with these jobs first. So Taco Bell did that to me. The way there, I was completely mobbed the entire time, and it was different this time. Every single car that passed by me would honk, and they all had flags on top of their trucks and stuff like that. Um, and I recorded that. I put it on X. So these jobs would hire me knowing that I would have to walk an hour to get there. And then I'd be mobbed the entire time there. And then I was, uh, they never paid me. They did pay me, but I had to wait over a month to get one day's worth of pay. The other job that hired me was a gas station, and they did the exact same thing to me. It was like clockwork. Um, they said that they had all shifts available. Then they hired me, and then told me that she only had night shift for me. So I already knew what to expect. I shouldn't have even gone because I already knew it was going to happen. But I walked there, the same thing happens, and the customers all, direct conversations with the manager, with the customers. So just making threatening comments, and then also calling me a machine. They kept making comments saying, "Oh, don't worry about this machine. She's really slow today. She's really slow today." And she kept saying it to every customer. But there was nothing wrong with the card reader that she was supposedly referring to. So, um, and I couldn't work. They were attacking me so much, my head got scrambled, just like during this entire interview. And then Salvation Army hired me to bell ring, and it's terrible. It's completely inhumane what I'm going through right now. I'll go and bell ring, and it's snowing a lot. It's freezing out here, and I'll be standing in the freezing cold, bell ringing, and they'll attack me with direct energy weapons the entire time. And also completely mob me. It's a post office. It shouldn't look like New York. I mean, everybody would just be standing around, coming up to me saying all kinds of crazy things, saying the same thing to me over and over and over and over. Just repetitive things. So just every aspect of my life right now, they've made it impossible for me to work. I'm a hard worker, but they're trying to strip me from that, and they're trying to make it look like some type of bum that is just lazy and not going to work, when in all actuality they're attacking me so badly that it's debilitating me. They've stolen all my clothes. A few months into being here, I packed up all my stuff, everything that I owned as far as clothes. And at that time, I really didn't have that much, but I had about 3 suitcases full of clothes and personal items, and hair products, stuff like that. And I was just in survival mode. I was kind of like in a panic mode. I was like, I don't even really care where I go. I just know I need to get away from here, because I already see what they're doing. They're trying to blacklist me and get it to where I'm homeless out here and have absolutely no help. And it's freezing out here. So I get on a bus, or no, I go to the domestic violence shelter, and they actually do help me with the bus ticket. That's one thing that did happen. But they're involved too. Me being here is just a whole big setup. I'll explain that too. But so I get a bus ticket, and I said, I'll go to Colorado. I know it's warmer out there. So this was 4 months ago, something like that. I get on the bus to go to Colorado, and I start getting mobbed on the bus. I start like the direct conversations, people threatening me and making comments while I'm on the bus. I'm never able to get any sleep because they always place somebody in front of me that's talking really loud, basically yelling. It seems like the entire bus is involved. Like the bus is always packed with people. So I get, let's see, from Colorado to Iowa. And in Iowa, that's when it got so bad I had to get off the bus. The guy I knew was attacking me. He was paid to be there, and he was just continuing to attack me over and over and over and over. Just but what he was doing was talking really loud and threatening me the entire time. pretending like he was having a conversation with his girlfriend. So I was trying to record this and everything. I remember what I was recording was being erased from my phone somehow. So I started to panic and I got off in Iowa. I called an ambulance right away. I was sitting at the Greyhound in Iowa. I called an ambulance right away. I didn't care at that point. So I said, I need some help. I was stranded out there. I had no idea what to do. So they put me in mental ward out there. And
Mercy Hospital?
I can't remember what it was called.
Oh,
But while I was in there, it was terrible. Every single person was involved, it seemed like. Uh, I've unfortunately been in a couple of them just because of these situations where I'm running for my life, and I have absolutely no other option. So I didn't actually start realizing this until around this point that hospitals and stuff and psych wards are all involved. Um, so that was a horrible experience. It was actually that one that I was in that this guy kept making comments to me saying, and then talking to another person saying, isn't it weird having having a man in your head, saying stuff like that. So like,
have they ever sent anybody in your life to befriend you in the whole time they're part of your targeting, like a honeypot or anything?
yeah, absolutely. My ex-boyfriend was a honeypot when I first moved out here. And the only reason I ended up in Michigan in the first place is because I was running all around the country, trying to find relief. So the places that I went before I landed in Michigan, nowhere I would go would work out, of course. Something horrible would always happen. And then I remember being on the bus and meeting these people that said that there was great work opportunities in Michigan. So I believed them, of course, and I came out here. And shortly after I got here, I went to a homeless shelter, and I had met a guy that worked at the homeless shelter, and he worked night shift. He was a night shift security guard, and it was a women's homeless shelter. So there was a lot of red flags that I should have paid attention to, but I didn't. I was also in a very vulnerable spot. Um, but I did start liking him, and because we started dating, I got kicked out of the shelter. Um, so he had a van, so I ended up. What happened was I ended up being stranded and having to stay in the back of his van in the middle of the winter. Um, but I started noticing weird things with him, like he would prop up his phone on his book bag when we were having an intimate moment, stuff like that. He was also drugging me. I would wake up in his friend's house. I would have no idea what had happened or where I was. Um, one time he drugged me so bad that I had fallen out of my chair and I busted my shoulder. Um, so yeah, he was set. It was a big setup, um, just to put me in more harmful situations. Um, so
How'd you get out of that situation?
I ended up going to a domestic violence shelter. the domestic violence shelter in this town. That's how I ended up here.
Right.
So I was in this domestic violence shelter for about 6 months. And while I was there, um, yeah, it just seemed like, I don't know, people were trying to set me up in situations. Um, I don't know. Seems like most people that come in.
Yeah, that's what they do. They want to set you up. They profile everything before they even start your targeting. So they know what sets you off. They know what, you know what I'm saying? They know what bothers you. And they want to keep you in constant fear all the time. Um, make you think you're going to die, make you think you can get murdered, make you think all kinds of stuff. Um, Not saying that it don't happen, but it does, but it's rare. But
It's very rare.
it's mostly a fear-based program. So what they're wanting to do, they're wanting to make you think at any moment something bad's going to happen to you, you're going to die, or you can never get friends, or they try to make everything you do hard and sabotage everything you do. And that's the sad thing about this, because really good people are being sabotaged every day for no reason, innocent civilians, and this has just got to stop.
Yeah,
I just don't, I don't know what we're going to do to stop it, but it's got to stop. I don't think these lawsuits are doing anything. So I really think at this point where me and Holly has gotten with ours is just figure out ways to cope, little stuff to pass time if you can, like I guess try to find yourself spiritually, um, different stuff. Multitasking helps me. Find like 5 different things to do in your house and work 5 different projects and work on them a little at a time and switch. Keep your mind busy, and what it does, it breaks that brain entrainment, and moving around can also thwart off direct energy attacks sometimes too. And V2K with multitasking, and there's a part right there. But we're looking at our cameras. But yeah, so has this affected your health at all?
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I've
Do you
gained
have
like,
thyroid problems by chance?
I don't know if I have thyroid problems. I know I always um, feel like I have something in my throat. I don't know. It's a weird
Is that
fuzzy
that?
in
Yeah.
my
Well,
throat.
see, Holly said, yeah, that's thyroid problem. She had her thyroid removed.
I had
Really?
multiple tumors. They cause cancer. So I not only did I have to have the thyroid removed, I had to have multiple tumors removed. Now I've got to go back and see what else they've done.
Yeah, because thyroid absorbs your radiation. So any radiation that comes to your body, your thyroid absorbs it and tries to metabolize it or whatever.
Yeah, so you'll feel like you're having trouble swallowing sometimes, even water. Even you're drinking water and you have trouble swallowing water.
Wow. Yeah, that's actually what's going on. I'm having problems like with my throat and stuff lately. That's like recent, but I've gained about 60 pounds in less than a year. Um, it hurts to walk. My knees hurt all the time, really bad. I used to be active. I used to walk everywhere and try to at least walk every single day. And it's impossible now. Like I don't know. So, my teeth, they've messed with my teeth. I don't know if you can see it, but my tooth is busted in the front. Um, the last time I went to the dentist, I went to a dentist in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and um, he had given me like 5 or 6 shots, and he started acting like he was mad at me for not being numb, and he continued trying to work on me when I could still feel everything. And um, yeah, he had grinded on a bunch of my teeth. When I gotten home after the numbness wore off, I started feeling around on my teeth, and he had grinded on all of them. So since then, like 5 different teeth have like I used to have a filling on this tooth that fell off. This tooth broke. There's a couple teeth in the back that have done the same thing.
You ever
Just
feel
like-
any shocks on your teeth? Like they shocked my teeth when I would talk to my friend Lynette. Anyway, she back in the day, every time I would talk to her, they would shock my teeth heavily, like shocks.
I don't feel shocks. I feel that in my head. I'll
Yeah.
feel it. Do it like right here, right in the middle of my head. And we'll do it on the side of my head. It feels like I'm being electrocuted. So it's nuts. I'll feel the same feeling in my toes and my feet.
Yeah, me too.
Sometimes like I tried recording this the other day, but my legs just the muscles will just start bouncing up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll hijack your nervous system and make you, you know, they got when these weapons they can take control of your cerebral cortex and then they can make your legs twitch. Holly's leg will twitch so bad. Sometimes I have to hold it down and just try
Yeah.
to keep her calm until it stops, you know. And then she'll get up and try to walk and it hurts so bad.
To walk.
Yeah. Her leg will just start twitching uncontrollably.
That's what mine does. I tried recording it the other day and then I started recording and it stopped.
Yeah.
It's like they
Right.
know. Like they know. Let's just like I'll go to look out my window and somehow they know that I'm looking out the window and she'll like this one woman always shines her brights into my window and I'll turn my phone on, I'll start recording and she'll stop.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah, I looked out the window, what, like 2 weeks ago at 1:13 a.m. I looked out the window and this car done a bunch of theater. You know, and this neighborhood's quiet at night. This car like backed up, pulled up, and then pulled in front of our mailbox and just sat at 1:13 in the morning.
Totally abnormal.
We got it on recording too. I could show it.
Just
Wow.
abnormal behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah, somehow they know.
They
I
know when
mean-
you're looking at cameras. They know when you're looking out the window. It's crazy.
Yeah, yep. That's how I realized that's a possibility that they might be remote neural monitoring. Now I don't know that for a fact.
Well, yeah, if they know when you're looking out the window, yeah, it's pretty much remote neural monitoring. That's in my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. My handler could read my mind real time. He had an earpiece and they translated everything that I thought to him. So he knew every thought, every incoming thought, real time. And he would say, "Wow, Holly, really? Well, I can't believe you're thinking that." You know,
Wow.
yeah. So they can read your mind real time. Yep.
And she actually watched him pull a metal piece out of his ear. His ear was bleeding.
His ear was literally
Oh, like a
bleeding
metal piece. And she thinks that it might be something that he was using.
for communication.
Yeah.
So remote neural monitoring, definitely, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do they do a lot of street theater with you?
Oh my God, yes. Yes, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And this is a small town, so it's absolutely insane. Like
Yeah.
I'll walk outside and there'll just be so many different people. That's one thing that they do. They always have dogs on leashes. And I don't know why they're trying to sensitize me to seeing this certain type of dog, but I've actually posted it on X. They bring this, it's like a poodle, but it's like one of the real tall poodles.
Yeah.
They bring this certain dog around me all the time. I have no idea what they're trying to say or what it's about, but one time my boss pulled up to get the kettle when I was bell ringing, and this dog was in the back of her van and it was like violently barking when she pulled up, and the van's like maybe 6 feet away from me. She pulled up right on the side of the street He's violently barking. I have no idea, you know. And she gets out, grabs the kettle, and then goes back. And I said, "Man, he's upset at something, isn't he?" And she said, "Oh, he must not like what he sees."
Wow.
Trying to say that, you know, he's barking because of me. Um, it's crazy. Like I don't know how they are doing this. I don't know if it's shot collars or, but it's like they train their dogs to bark because there's like a couple dogs in this neighborhood that'll start barking in sequence, but it always sounds like they're in pain. You know, I'm an empath,
Like
so
a whimpering bark.
yeah, I can hear it in their voices. It's like breaking my heart. But I've actually recorded it before and I put it on X. They'll just start barking, but yeah, they're abusing their dogs. It's crazy, and they use their dogs to gang stalk and everything. So I see ads about the same type of breed dog. It always pops up on my phone, same ad about this same breed of dog. And then the other day I was in Myers. I was standing in the aisle and I'd already been recording because I was being mobbed the entire time. Well, I go down this one aisle. I see this guy walking towards the aisle where I'm at before I actually go in the aisle. And he's got this same dog. And I'm like, I already knew right then and there that he was in there to mess with me as soon as I seen the dog because it's something I've been seeing a lot. So sure enough, I stood there and I turned my phone on right away because I knew he was gonna come up next to me. And sure enough, he came up right next to me, stood right next to me with his dog. And instead of ignoring, you know, it like I normally try to do and not give him any response, um, I was like, "Oh, hi," you know, I was being really nice, and it was almost like it upset him that I did that, and he walked off. And I recorded this entire thing, and I turned my phone to there was two women trying to block me from getting past. They do this to me all the time. They'll block me in the lanes, and the woman said, "Oh, you shouldn't touch service animals," and making you know, rude comments about touching service animals. So I'm like, "What?" But I'm glad I got it on recording because it just proves different things that they do to me. It's just insane shit for no reason.
Right.
But
Well, I really think that I mean, like everything you've said is a perfect example of targeting. Before we end, is there anything you would like that you really wanted to get out or anything that we didn't touch base on?
um, well, I have been isolating a whole lot ever since I've lived here. Basically isolated. I don't know anybody that lives around here. It seems like everybody knows me. Um, I am just at a point where honestly, I really don't know what I'm going to do anymore because I know that it's impossible for me to work. Um, every single aspect of my life is being tampered with right now. So I guess I want to say that. Uh, and I'm also so fatigued and tired all the time um, that it's impossible to do anything. It's pretty bad, but I wake up and I'll sit here right where I'm at. This is my spot. I stay here all day, and I sleep half the day, and then I'm sleeping so much that I didn't even know it was possible to sleep that much. But um, they're messing with me while I'm sleeping. Um, like I'll wake up, but I won't be fully awake, and it's like somebody has taken over my head completely, and I'll be having conversations. I can't explain it. Do you know what I'm saying? Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, Holly has been going through that lately.
What?
You'll be having,
Been,
Yeah, yeah, they can make you sleep at the drop of a dime.
she's fatigued all the time like that, really bad.
Really bad. Yeah, the weapons affect me with fatigue, sleep. Um, I'm able to work, but that's only because um, I literally ignored all of the gaslighting at work, the bashing, all of the stuff like that, and then the gang stalking on the. This is how I got basically a lot of this to cease. We give so many reactions to these people, which is what they're after. I decided after many, 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 many years of this, I said, you know what, enough's enough. You no longer get a reaction from me. If you want to run me off the road, enjoy. Have a good time doing it. And I'm not going to give you a reaction. I'm going to smile and wave and say hello and keep it moving. And that is what I started doing. I quit giving them reactions. And basically, because all these people are paid, these people are paid to do all of this. So they started wasting money because they got no reactions out of me. And it slowed down tremendously, tremendously. So if you're able, try not to give reactions. They want this raw emotion. For example, when they murdered my cat with a baseball bat. Um, I quit my job. I had a mental breakdown. They got complete raw emotion over that, but they knew they would because I've rescued animals all my life. So, they do things to get certain reactions based off how they've profiled you. And that's really the only way I got it to slow down was to stop giving any reaction. But they still put me to sleep when, yeah, I've gone through the sleeping phase for years, and sometimes they keep you awake for days. It kind of goes back and forth a little bit, but
She gets really attacked with weapons where she's fatigued so bad. Like sometimes, I just have to bear with her, and understand.
that's
Um,
what's happening.
I get hit too, but not nowhere near as hard as her. They've been really V2K in me, trying to drive me crazy, but it's not working, thank God.
Yeah. I'm being attacked very heavily right now. It's to the point where I'm very weird. I don't know what to do. I keep having it's an intrusive thought. I know it is from them, but to go get help. But that's where they're trying to lead me. They're trying to lead me back into a place where they're gonna hurt me more. But it's just gotten to a point where I have no idea of what to do. I stay in this apartment like for a week at a time. It's insane. I don't know.
Before we stop, did you want to share your ex in case somebody wanted to reach out maybe or something? Or you don't trust that? Don't matter either way, but it's
Yeah,
up to
that's
you, is
fine.
what I'm saying.
It's Courage and Darkness,
Okay.
and the the username is they silencing me. They silencing me.
So it would be at they silencing me if they searched you.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I have a TikTok too, but they won't let me post anything, which uh yeah, they are trying to silence me big time. Um I've taken screenshots of um the things that they have flagged and put it on X to try to show people what they're doing to me. But at one point um I had a certain amount of followers on um TikTok, and they banned me and got rid of it because they didn't want me speaking about anything that's going on. So,
Have you thought about making YouTube videos with your evidence and stuff?
but you see how anxious I am and how hard of a time I've been
Right.
having. This is all the time. It's really affecting. It's completely debilitating. So, uh, I don't know, I start getting really bad intrusive thoughts. And I'm also very self-conscious because they've completely deformed me, I feel like I don't look like I used to. Um, I've gained all this weight, so that's enough. I always get this thought like, oh my gosh, you're so ugly, this and that. And then it just all these intrusive thoughts all the time, and it ends up preventing me from making videos. That makes sense. So
Mm.
thing I'm going through. Oh, that's one thing I
Are
did
your
want
did your legs ache really bad? Like
to kill me all the time. Yeah.
that's what Holly's going through lately too. Her legs are aching really, really bad.
Yeah, I'm hurting pretty bad.
And
And
there's
she can
certain,
take pain, so if she says she's in pain, she's in some pain.
they swell really, really bad. Like my legs and ankles are really swollen. So that's one thing that they have done has gotten to me about my looks because I've gained all this weight. My the people that harass me uh purposely try to misgender me all the time and call me a man, stuff like that, always trying to get under my skin. Um, when I have a 24-year-old son, you know, so that's one way they attack me. They have just completely attacked my personality, who I am as a person, um, the way I look, everything. Um, so it's been very hard on me. So
Well,
I
we're very sorry that you're dealing with this. And you know, I wish I could say, well, it's going to stop next year or one, but I don't give false hope, you know. So I mean, all I can say is try to do your best to. I will tell you, supplements do help, don't they? Wouldn't you say they help?
Yeah, they do help, but they're expensive.
Yeah, they're very expensive. You know, Holly got me 2 years ago.
yeah, I
She
can't.
came in with two big bags of that nice Dr. Teal's Epsom salt, and I was so happy because I was going through heavy attacks from direct energy weapons. I mean, I got a Epsom salt for my birthday and was happy, you know. I mean, that's the life of a TI, I guess, you know. But I
Yeah,
really appreciate you coming out and telling your story. And if there's anybody who thinks they have any good advice for her, she's on X. Her name is Courage in Darkness on X, and it's at They're Silencing Me.
it's they silencing me.
Okay,
THE.
they silencing me. At They Silencing Me.
Yeah.
And man, uh, if there's anything we can do, possibly just let us know. Holly would be up to talking to you if you needed to talk to somebody. She usually talks to the women. I talk to the men. Um,
Get it so
you know, if
much.
you ever, are you on X?
Oh no, I don't do Twitter.
Oh,
I'm not a big social media person. I don't trust it. There's a lot of fake TIs out there, and
And
I consider them sick individuals,
yeah,
and it's hard to uh, decipher who is who sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to decipher who you need to talk to because
it is.
there's so many people trying to set everybody up. Um, you know, these people are paid to set us up, and that's why I'm kind of not out there. But I'll give you my number in just a
Okay.
minute, and you can feel free to call anytime.
Yeah.
And I've also got something to tell you. So when we end this, I'll tell you.
Okay. It's been really tough for me, speaking out, because of the anxiety I have. I've had panic attacks my entire life. So it's something I suffer with anyways. And then I'm being hit with these weapons, so it just makes it impossible. So I knew I was gonna have a hard time, trying to get everything out today. There's a lot that I left out. A lot of things like, uh, things I'm noticing, like different deformity things I'm noticing that they're doing to me. Oh, they attack my abdominal area and I'll bleed for like a month straight. This is something that's been going on for years now. Um, it's very bad. Yeah, I'll just bleed for a complete month straight. I'll have like a couple weeks in between. That's one thing that they're doing. I forgot to mention. So
Yeah,
so yeah, it's been
that sounds like PCOS, which is what I had. Polycystic ovarian syndrome that can cause that kind of bleeding. Yeah, they've hit me in the gut so much. They've hit me so long with lasers that they've completely damaged my entire stomach and breast area. They burst all the blood vessels from the lasers. So I have millions of what you would call if you saw it, you would say, "Oh, that's a lot of freckles," but it's burst blood vessels. So that's what they've done to me. But yeah, I know what you're saying about the hits. It's horrible.
And maybe if you wanted to reach out to us in a month or so and try if you wanted to do a follow-up to tell us how things are doing and stuff.
okay. I would
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Really wanted to make sure to get on this interview today just because I know my situation. I know that I am in danger. I'm in a lot of danger. I know it's a fear-based program, but um, they swerve to try to hit me with their cars. Grown men walk up to me like they're gonna attack me. And this is something that happens anytime I go out.
Yeah.
So it is scary,
There.
and don't know what's gonna happen to me next. So I really appreciate you guys letting me speak. And
Yeah,
again,
let's let David say a prayer, if you don't mind. Is that okay?
yeah,
Okay.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this wonderful day you've given us. Lord, I break any curse, any spell, any form of witchcraft or anything that's been put on her life. It has to go in the name of Jesus. I bind it up in the name of Jesus and loose the blood of Jesus over her. Lord, I ask that you'll be with her, give her a spirit of courage. Any plans or traps or anything set by the enemy, Lord, we dissolve them right now in the name of Jesus. Lord, we know you have the power. I've seen you do it before. So I know that I ask that you'll break anything that any trap or anything they try to set, let them fall in their own trap. In the name of Jesus. Amen.
amen. Thank you.
No
Thank you, guys.
problem. And you want to end it now? Okay, I'm gonna end it now and then we can say our goodbyes. She's gonna give you her number and stuff.
Okay. Thank you.